Hey guys, Zom Fox here, and today we're going to be talking about the second tight end from the USFL to go to the NFL, and the tight end receiving leader, Bug Howard, who is going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As for Bug Howard, even though Sal Cannella I still think was the best tight end overall in the league, Bug actually led all tight ends in receiving yards at 371, which is actually good enough for seventh in the entire league. His 4 touchdowns were also, in that 5-6 way tie for second place in most touchdowns. As for his career, he's been around practice squads for a very long time, which is actually a good sign. It shows that teams do have at least some respect for him in a sense. These are the Colts, Browns, Panthers, Broncos, Jags, and Bills practice squads. He was with the Atlanta Legends, but he didn't really do anything. But last year for the Stars, as we know, he was great. He was one of the highest picked tight ends in the league, being a 5th overall pick in around 34. So he definitely has shown a lot of, promise and stuff like that, as he was definitely better than all those guys that were picked above him except Sal. But his stats, they show that he's very solid from the USFL, and so will he play for the NFL though? The Buccaneers depth chart is not great for him as they just signed Kyle Rudolph. Their starter is Cameron Brate, then second string is Kyle Rudolph, third is Cade Otton, and then fourth is Cope Keeft. Now, also note that I know there's that whole theory about if is Gronk gonna come back. Rob Gronkowski, who many people consider the greatest tight end of all time. I don't, but I think he is definitely one of the best we've ever seen, and of my generation, he is the best ever. But in terms of will he come back, I kind of like the theory, but naturally I like all the theories that are fun, like different conspiracies. I could definitely see him maybe coming back, but we don't know for sure, but we have to assume this is going to be the actual roster. Their 4th string and 3rd string are both guys picked this year in the draft, 4th and 6th round respectively, and that's why one of them is ahead of the other one. So he could get ahead of Coe, but I don't think we'll get ahead of Cade. I don't think they want to have a guy they just signed out of the USFL go ahead of their 4th round pick, but 6th maybe. Then Kyle Rudolph is your backup tight end. This is a guy who's been a 2-time Pro Bowler. He's kind of like a Randall Cobb of tight ends, where he's not at that top flight tight end, but he's like a solid receiving tight end. As he's been a Pro Bowler twice, he was in his second year in 2012 and then all the way back in 2017, with Case Keenum and them. And as for his stats, he's constantly pretty much been a 300-yard receiver or more. He's only had like 3 years where he didn't, and those include his first year ever, last year with, Daniel Jones and the Giants, and then back in 2014. Their starter, Cameron Brate, he's in his 8th season, but even though he's undrafted, he's been with his team for a very long time, from 2014, one of the longest tenured guys on the team. He's been that kind of undrafted free agent tight end. He probably could have left this team and, go be a bigger star somewhere else, but he stayed with them, even when they keep getting other guys, when they drafted O.J. Howard, when they signed Gronk, and he's still here. So he is, a very, key guy to have on this team. So I don't think Bug will overtake him. Even though statistically he's not the best, I feel like Kyle Rudolph might become the starter and Cam will be the second string. But Cam has pretty much, aside from his first year, has always been a 200-yard receiver, with having 2 years where he did top 500 yards. So, considering the fact that he's been doing most of this as a constant backup, as the only 2 years where you could really say he was the man were 16 and 17, where guess what? He had his best seasons. But I know that O.J. Howard dealt with some injuries in a couple of years and he didn't do a ton, but overall, I think that Bug could become the 4th stringer on this team, but I actually don't really see him having a great chance to make the final roster, as I don't see them really taking 4 tight ends. They might, but we're going to have to see. I wish him the best, but with this team, it might be, that sense of, the Buccaneers giving all their practice squad guys a ring. He just, sits back to get it. But we'll see. This has been Zom Fox. If you enjoy this content, want me notified as soon as I upload any videos. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And as always, have a great night.